Hi friends, welcome back, Jamie again. So today we're going to explore some standing forms, particularly some standing balance forms. And in this time of unrooting and ungrounding, I think it's super crucial to come back to our center and come back to our grounding form and our roots. So today we're going to start off actually seated before we go up to standing. I'm sitting up on my handy couch pillow. I invite you to grab something to lift yourself up away from the floor just a little bit. We're actually just going to start by working with our feet. So we're just going to start by kind of spreading. Take your right foot for starters and spread out those toes and just kind of run your fingers between each of the toes. And we're just going to enjoy a little bit of foot love here before we get started. So as we come to our standing balance poses, of course, the feet are going to be our foundation. And so it's really crucial to kind of get the feet warmed up and also to just give the feet a little TLC. They do so much for us in our day-to-day lives. And so I think it's really important to nurture them and take care of them and just say thank you to them. Once you work through the toes and spread them out, work your way down to the knuckle pads of the right foot. So kind of where those toes meet into the bottom of the foot or the sole of the foot, and also kind of massage out the top of the foot just below the base of the toes and give yourself a little, like I said, a little TLC here and a little bit of work through the feet. Take kind of the fingers and take both hands of the fingers together and kind of bring them into the center of the foot and just sort of curl your foot around the center of the fingers there. So the outside edges of the foot kind of come around it, and then work your way straight down the center there of the entire right foot and keep giving yourself a little gentle pressure here. Kind of massage a little bit into the heels and then give the top of the foot as well a little bit of massage and rub and love, like I said. And then when you're ready, we'll take it onto the other side. So just kind of pause for a moment, place that right foot down just in front of you and see how it feels. Maybe it feels a little bit more ignited, a little bit more awake, and that's kind of what we're going for. We want to create that nice broad foundation so that when we're standing on perhaps only one foot at a time, we have that safe space to be in that broad foundation. Change it out, switch sides. Sometimes I'll prop my foot on the opposite thigh. And so just again, starting with those toes, just giving yourself some spaciousness there through the toes, on top of the toes, on the bottom of the toes, and then coming to the pad of the foot, especially the big toe mound, and the top of the foot where the knuckles interact with the toes. And just kind of making a little bit of space. So oftentimes I'll start from the middle of the foot and just kind of reach my thumbs across to the outsides of the foot. So just giving that initial warm up to the feet here, to our foundation. And just working your way down the sole of the foot, however it feels good to you. If it worked to have those fingers kind of coming around to the inside of the arch and then pulling the outsides more and more to the outside, play with that. See what works for you, and then don't forget about the arch, that inner arch there, and as well as the outside of the foot. Sometimes we overlook that space and that place. And of course the heel, and just give yourself a little bit of awareness through the feet. Good. Finishing up with this left side. Gently come into a comfortable seat. Hopefully you're propped up a little bit so those hips are lifted above the knees. And we'll just relax the hands for a moment and close the eyes so that we can just sit in stillness. Take a few breaths just to really allow ourselves to get grounded here. And maybe your awareness is there on the feet. You still feel them radiating with energy. with aliveness, with awakening. Soften the chin toward the chest as you're ready. And open the eyes, taking your time whenever it feels right to you. Slowly lift the gaze back up, and we're just going to get started with today's practice in downward facing dog, just pausing for 5 to 7 breaths and stretching out the body. So full body stretch here. Just giving yourself an opportunity to open, create space, create awareness, create wisdom. Feel where the body's at with loving kindness, gently welcoming your body to your yoga mat, to your practice today, wherever you're at. So just showing up on your mat with gratitude, releasing anything that doesn't belong on the yoga mat today for this practice. Feel free to close your eyes or keep them open. And stretch that spine nice and long. The knees can remain bent. The elbows should be soft here. And letting go through the head and the neck. So just really coming to your form and feeling everything. Permission to be. Take 2 more breaths here. And when you're ready, we'll slowly look forward and place a little bit more of a bend through those knees. And we'll step through, coming to the front of our mat and folding into Uttanasana, forward fold. So here, take a peek at those feet. Whether your hands are to the floor or not, that's okay. Soften and bend through those knees as much as you need. But what I really want you to bring your awareness to, again, is those feet. So the invitation here is to create the feet parallel to one another, as well as the long edge of your mat. Hip distance stance is perfect. If you want to go a little bit different from that, maybe a little bit wider would be your next invitation. And then just look at your feet. As you're stretching out those hamstrings, feel free to bend from the hips as much as it feels okay to the backs of your legs, but just look at the feet and try to find balance with them. So tendency for me is to roll to the inner edge of the foot, and so my homework is to place that awareness to the outer pinky edge of both feet. But see where it is for you. And when you've got that, lift up the toes. So you exaggerate the arches. You create muscle energy through the calf muscles and through the bottoms of the feet. And as you lift those toes up, maybe spread them. So the pinky toes go to the outside edges and the big toes come more toward the inside edges. And when you release the toes back down, you just have a little bit more recognition, a little bit more heat through the feet. Really soft knees here. And then we'll hug those shins in toward midline as if you're holding something between the shins. And feel free to bow a little bit more deeply as it feels right for your form and for your body. Good. Take the hands up to the hips and we'll come up to a halfway lift. Pausing here. The heart is parallel with the floor. Again, soft knees, shin energy moving inward. Sitting bones start to broaden back and apart. Invite the belly button gently in toward the spine. You feel the back muscles beginning to work. And from here, with hands on hips, draw the elbows up toward the ceiling, gathering them in toward one another. And once again, now you feel the upper back starting to activate. Good. Root down and come up to standing as you're ready. Take a big breath and release those hands. Awesome. Roll those shoulders back and down. Yeah, good. Keep that core gently activated here. And then spreading those palms out, stay really rooted through the feet here. Root down and rise the arms out to the sides and overhead. Keep the arms parallel to one another. You'll notice that I'm a little bit wider than shoulder distance. Okay. And then bend through those elbows. Palms are still facing one another. And move those elbows back toward the wall behind you. So you really feel the heart starting to activate and open a little bit here. Gather in through the belly and root down through the tail. Good. From here, lift up through the heart and then extend those arms straight once again. Maybe they come all the way to straight, maybe they don't this time around. But the key is to maintain that shoulder blade activation on the back plane of the body. But I also invite you to bring your awareness back down to the base of the feet, the foundation. Take one more breath here, reaching from the soles of the feet, through the hips, through the heart, through the crown of the head, and then exhale, release those hands. Good. Bring awareness to your left foot. Yeah, so really create balance in it from front to back of that foot and from inner edge to outer edge. Lift the right knee and interlace your hands across the front of that right shin. And I'm going to have you flex that right foot as well. So both feet are still going to stay charged up. Now, wherever you're working, place a gentle micro bend in that left knee. And then we'll take the hips slowly back. Okay, so it's a nice way of saying kind of stick your butt out a little bit. That's going to soften through the hip flexors. Yeah, and create a little bit less pinching and contraction through those hip flexor muscles. Good. And once we keep the sit bones back just a little bit, keep the tailbone back, we're creating that lumbar curve, which then puts the pelvis into that little pelvic tilt. And that's going to help us open through these standing poses a little bit more. Awesome. Release that foot. Bring it back parallel, so hip distance apart, and then lift that left one. Here we're just focusing on rooting and grounding down through the standing foot and taking the hips back while involving the core. Again, this left foot is flexed, and then we're just going to work on lifting up through the chest and moving the shoulders back and down. Awesome. Take another breath. Release that. Good. So find your stance, feet parallel. Inhale and reach those arms overhead once again. And exhale, release them down behind you, perhaps interlacing, and then moving those shoulders back, expressing through the heart as you take 3 breaths here. Good. Keep the awareness right here in the feet. Yeah, take another breath in, expanding through the chest a little bit more. And then exhale, release the arms, extend them overhead, and forward fold. Exhale. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, step or walk back to plank pose. Inhale and pause in plank. Exhale, release slowly down to the floor. Inhale, curl the heart forward and up. Cobra pose, soft elbows. Exhale, downward facing dog. Good. One breath here in down dog. And then on the inhale, we reach the right leg up toward the ceiling. On the exhale, we'll step it through here. So we're going to set right up here for warrior 3, just getting right into it. We've warmed up our feet. Bring the awareness back here to that right foot. So again, perhaps you're lifting the toes and spreading them. Create that balance right here. Find this foundation. And then with hands grounded, we're going to leave the hands on the floor for now. Lift the left foot up. You can move the hands forward if you need, and we'll bend that right knee as much as you need to make contact with the floor and your hands. Good. Now bring your awareness to the entire left leg. Drop the left hip so it's square with the right. Hug that inner thigh toward the right leg, and then extend through the knee so it's nice and straight, and flex through the left foot. Good. So option here, you can leave the hands grounded, or if you want to explore more, you start to reach those fingers forward. I like to keep my palms parallel to one another, and the arms might come parallel to the floor, maybe they don't. So right here, awareness on that right leg. Standing knee is bent, both hips level and parallel, core active, left leg super fired up and charged up. Hug that midline, find a soft gaze, and then reach from the back heel through the front fingers. And even here, melt the heart and gather the shoulder blades more onto the back. Take a breath and soften. And then exhale, release here, hands to the ground, left foot parallel to right. Exhale, forward fold and breathe. Inhale, halfway lift, open up through the heart, side body long. Exhale, right leg lifts up. Root down through the standing left foot. Yeah, lift and spread those toes. Find balance through the four corners of that left foot, inner and outer, heel, big and little toe mound. Good, drop the right hip so it's parallel. Charge up the extended right leg, toes point toward the floor, heel might be hip height. Good, so really fire up that right leg. This is crucial here. Hug into midline for your stability and balance. This is really important. Hug into midline, extend the heart forward. Good, so now that you've got the back half of the body, the lower limbs really toned up, now we fire up the core muscles and work. Maybe the hands just lift an inch off the floor. That's okay. Maybe they extend all the way forward. Wherever you're working, we're going to pause here for 3 breaths, and I just want you to come back to your breath and see if you can find softness. Beautiful. Release the hands, release the right foot, forward fold, bow it out. Inhale, lift halfway. Hands to hips, elbows bent and drawing toward one another. Knees soft, root down to rise to stand. Good. Heart stays open, arms relax. Inhale, reach arms overhead. Exhale, bring them down with your heart. One more time. Inhale. Exhale. Pause with the hands at the heart. And then just peek down at your feet. Adjust anything. Feet parallel to one another and on the long edge of the mat. Reroot down through them. And in fact, close the eyes here and take 3 breaths. Just really bringing full awareness down to the bottoms of your feet. Find that base, that foundation. Release the hands and open the eyes. Lift the right knee once again, and we'll interlace the hands around the front of that shin. Awesome. So connect here to your left foot. Good. This is great. You can stay here. Okay. Move those hips back just a little bit. If you want to go a little deeper, take your interlace behind the hamstring, flex that right foot, and start to extend it. Yeah, maybe it comes straight, maybe it doesn't. No worries there. Take the standing thigh back, so moving those hips back, and then notice where the shoulders are at. Do they need to move a little bit more back and down? Good. Stay here. Or if you want to go a little bit further, take your right hand. I like to take my peace fingers around my big toe. But here's the catch here. We tend to come forward with our torso, and we tend to bring that standing thigh forward. Okay, so this might be a little bit too much for a lot of us. What we really want to maintain, whether the hands are below the hamstring or on the foot, is moving that standing thigh back and lifting up through the heart. I would change views for you, but I'm pretty sure I would fall out. So I'll show you a side view on the next side. Good. Release that as you're ready. Nice, you guys. Plant down through the right foot. Here, I'll show you the side view now. Right foot stays grounded, left knee lifts, and we interlace hands around it. Good. Right here, lift through the chest, move the thighs back. Awesome. Extend the leg, hands behind the hamstring. Good. You'll see the left foot is flexing, and I want you to have a nice softness through that standing right leg. Good. Either stay right here or take left hand to the left foot or toes. And then just watch yourself. So I'm going to move this top left shoulder back. I'm going to lift through the heart, but I'm also going to move the standing leg back. So that right hip is the one that tends to get really compromised here. Take another breath, and then exhale, release. Feet parallel again, reach those arms up. Exhale, hands through heart and fold forward. Inhale, halfway lift, lengthen it out. Exhale, plank pose. Good. Lower down, chaturanga. Curl up, cobra. Exhale, down dog. Nice. One breath here and down dog. And then we'll step through right foot once again. Good. Coming right into warrior three this time. Inhale, lift that left foot right up off the floor, slide the hands forward. Full extension from the back heel through the crown of the head. Inhale, lift those fingers up toward the front of your space. Good. So everything is active. The palms, the hands are spreading, right? The back leg is energized. The arms are extended. The heart is melting. The belly is active. The glutes are on fire. And then without touching that left foot to the floor, okay, here's where it gets fun. We're going to come to tree pose. So bring the hands to the hips. Start to slowly lift the chest upright. Bend your left knee. And then place the bottom of the left foot to the inside of your standing right leg. Good. You made it. Bring the hands together at the heart. So what I just want to offer here is that left foot. We really want to angle it straight down. Oftentimes it wants to tilt to the right, and that's going to create a little bit of just a little bit of misalignment on the knee. Lift up through the heart. Release the hands, and perhaps they float overhead. Full tree pose. Whee! Sometimes it gets a little bit windy. Sometimes your leg slips. So if this is too much for the foot on the thigh, move it to the shin. Okay? We just don't want it on that knee joint. Awesome. Release all that. Feet parallel. Ground down and take a nice breath. You did it. Good. Reach up. Inhale. Exhale and fold forward. Follow your breath rhythm. Inhale, build some heat, halfway lift. Exhale, slide it back to plank. Inhale and plank. Exhale, lower the heart, lower the body. Inhale, curl the chest open. Exhale, downward facing dog. Just one breath. Exhale. Left foot steps through. And then inhale, come right into warrior three. Virabhadrasana 3. Good. Check it out in your body. Lift and extend through the heart. Arms float over toward the front of your space as you're ready. Charge up everything. Lift the armpits away from the floor so you feel the shoulder blades working. You feel that thoracic spine starting to create some movement there. Belly super active. So the belly is going to be really important as we move into this next form, right? Fire it up. Create that awareness. And then bring yourself upright. The hands will come toward the hips. The right knee bends. Good. Find your right hand to the shin and just really place that right foot to the inside of the left leg. I find it works best to find your pant seam and then press the foot into it. Hands to heart. Here's this beautiful midline connection, right? Press your right foot into your standing leg and then press back. Find that muscle energy of the legs. Stay with hands at heart or lift them up overhead. 3 breaths once again. Where can you find some softness here? Left knee is soft. Hips are going to move back. Heart is going to shine open. Good. Exhale, release it all. Come to stand. Nice work, you guys. Let's undo some of that hip energy with this standing figure 4 pose. So we'll once again root into the right foot, and then we'll lift the left foot. We've been here a few times before. Flex it, and then cross the ankle over the outer thigh. Good. Lift up through the chest, curl the belly in, and then keeping that heart nice and open, we'll just sink the hips down. Nice. Left foot is really flexed. Right foot is really grounded. And then just working that left knee parallel to the floor and lifting up through the chest. From here, lift up the arms, reach them overhead. So it's kind of like a modified Utkatasana chair pose. Sink down as much as it feels right in that left hip. One more breath. Good. Exhale and release. Change sides, left foot grounds. So find that perfect balance there. Inner and outer edge of the foot, front and back. And then lift and flex the right foot. Cross it over the left thigh. Hands to heart initially. That's going to help balance. So even here with the legs in this wonky position, hug that midline. Go ahead, lift up through the heart and then sink down through the hips here. Find your focus. So just find a space that works for you in front of you or below you to the floor. Something that's not moving, something that's really soft for the face and the gaze to soften on. And when you're ready, lift those arms up. That in turn opens up through the heart. But watch the low back here, so just supporting it really by bringing the belly button inward toward that spine and curling up more through the upper back than the lower back. I'm going to take another breath. Nice, release that and come back towards standing. Root down through your feet and reach those arms overhead. Good, exhale and fold. Inhale, slowly lift up through the heart. And exhale, bow. 2 more. Inhale, lift up, lengthen. Exhale, bend and fold. Last one. Root down to curl slowly up towards standing. Let the fingers dangle, the head and the neck last. We'll just do one more big opening here, standing. Balance. Good. So we'll plug into that left foot. I'm going to move to the left side of my mat for space because we're going to take that right foot over to the right. So just adjust yourself as needed. But really plugging into that left foot. We know it well by now. Bend the right knee. So from here, you've got lots of options. I'll show you the modifications. Just take your hands again to that hamstring. Okay. Flex through the right leg. Right here, just come back to our basics. So the thighs and the hips move back. The heart lifts up. Good. So you can play with this. If this is plenty for you, work right here. If you want to take it out to the right, I'm going to release the left hand to the hip. The right leg's got to stay nice and flexed. And then I'm just going to swing that right leg over to the right. I like this left hand on my hip because I can really feel the hip flexors. Make sure that standing thigh is not coming forward. Take it back. Good. Lift up the heart even more. Roll those shoulders back and down. Maybe that left hand opens to the side. Maybe you fall out. Take your time and come out when you're ready. Okay. Once again, I'll turn to the side just so you can see that. I don't know if it helps or not, but we'll plug that now down into the right foot. Left leg lifts up. We'll just take the hamstrings right behind it, the hands behind the hamstrings for now. Straighten out that leg. Yeah. So you'll notice oftentimes the upper back starts to come with it, right? So we want to bend those elbows and lift the heart through the support of the shoulders. Good. I have to watch forward and find my drishti, my gazing point, so I don't fall out of this. When you're ready, you can guide that left leg over to the left. The right hand can stay on the hip. And then we're just going to take those thighs back and extend through the heart. As best you can, the left toes point up toward the ceiling. 2 more breaths, find some softness. Beautiful, you guys. Release that and just pause at the front of your mat or wherever. Close the eyes. Let the hands rest at the heart. Maybe the thumbs connect with the sternum. Feel your feet. Feel your leg energy. You did a lot of work today, so just allowing this to move through you. And then slowly release the hands and open those eyes one more time. Inhale, stretch up overhead. Exhale, swan, dive it down to the floor. Halfway lift, Ardha Uttanasana. And exhale, downward facing dog. Just 3 breaths here. Come forward toward plank and lower the knees. Find a seat once again so that we can close out our practice with gratitude, with mindfulness, and with quietude. Sitting up tall as you're ready and anchoring down through the pelvis. Good. Close the eyes. Rest the hands on the body, on the lap. Go back inward and gently listen to the rhythm of the breath. And as you bring the hands together at heart center, remember that it's okay to be a little bit unsteady. It's okay to waver and sometimes fall. It's part of the growth, it's part of the process. Honor yourself today, however you showed up. Because just arriving on your yoga mat is showing up for yourself in the biggest way. And so be proud of your practice, be grateful, and have a tremendous rest of your day, whatever time of day this finds you at. All of my light to you. Namaste. Thank you, friends. All the best.